Right now, somewhere in the world, the power just went out. A storm took down a line, a grid failed, a bill went unpaid, and a family is sitting in the dark, reaching for the only light they have left. A candle, a flashlight with dying batteries, or a kerosene lamp that fills the room with fumes and could burn the house down if it tips over. For hundreds of millions of people, that darkness is not an emergency. It is every single night. And here's the thing almost nobody knows. There's a lamp that will light a room for hours that needs no batteries, no grid, no fuel you have to keep buying, and no flame. It runs on a glass of salt water and salt. The two most abundant, cheapest things on the planet. Pour it in and the lamp glows. I know how that sounds. It sounds impossible, or like a scam, or like one of those internet miracles that never actually works when you try it. So I'm not going to ask you to believe me. I am just going to show you. This lamp right here is on. It is lighting this room right now. And its only power source is this, a glass of ordinary salt water that I mixed in my kitchen 60 seconds ago. There is no battery inside it. There is no cord. There is no fuel tank. When this water runs low, I pour in more salt water and it keeps going. And by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly how to build one for a few dollars from parts you can get almost anywhere. So the question that should be screaming in your head right now is the obvious one. If a lamp can run on salt water, why is there not one of these in every emergency kit, every off-grid cabin, every home, and every place on Earth where the power is unreliable? Why are we still selling people batteries that die and kerosene that burns and flashlights that go dark at the worst possible moment? Stay with me because the answer is a 200-year-old story. It runs through an Italian laboratory in the year 1800, where the very first battery ever made ran on nothing but metal and salt water, through the flooded villages of the Philippines, where an engineer built this exact lamp to save families from the dark, and straight into the simple, brutal economics of why a light that never needs refueling is the last thing a fuel company ever wants you to own. Let me start with the science, because once you understand it, the magic turns into something better than magic. It turns into something you can build. What you are looking at is not really a lamp with a hidden battery. It is a battery, and the lamp is just the part you can see glowing. And the astonishing truth is that this is the oldest kind of battery there is. In the year 1800, an Italian physicist named Alessandro Volta stacked up discs of two different metals, zinc and copper, and separated them with cloth soaked in salt water. When he connected the top to the bottom, electricity flowed. Steady, continuous electric current for the first time in human history. He had invented the battery. We named the unit of electrical potential, the volt, after him, and you see his name on every battery and every device you own. And the very first one, the one that started all of it, ran on exactly what your salt water lamp runs on. Two metals and salt water. That is the entire secret. This is not a new invention. It is the original one, rediscovered. Here's how it actually works, and it is beautiful in its simplicity. Inside your lamp are two different materials, and one of them is a piece of metal that chemists call reactive, usually magnesium or aluminum. When you drop that metal into salt water, the salt water pulls electrons off of it. The metal is, in a very real sense, eager to give those electrons away, and the salt water is the pathway that lets them flow. Those electrons rush out of the metal through a wire, through your LED light, which they make glow as they pass, and back into the other side of the cell. That flow of electrons is electricity. That is all electricity has ever been. And the salt water is not the fuel. The salt water is just the road. The fuel, the thing that actually powers the light, is that reactive metal slowly giving up its electrons, which means the only thing this lamp ever consumes is a cheap little rod of metal that you replace now and then, and salt water you can make in your own kitchen for free, forever. Sit with that for a second, because it changes everything about what a light can be. A candle burns wax you have to keep buying. A flashlight drains batteries you have to keep buying. A kerosene lamp burns fuel you have to keep buying, and it can kill you with fumes or fire. This lamp runs on a metal rod that costs almost nothing and lasts a long time, and salt water that costs nothing at all. It is the difference between a light you rent from a supply chain and a light you actually own. And the proof that this works is not theoretical. It is not a lab curiosity. It has already saved lives. Now, before I tell you that story and then show you how to build one, I want to talk to the person watching this who has already pictured a blackout in their own home. You are exactly who this channel is for. Not to sell you anything, because the whole point of this is a light that has nothing to sell you. If being ready, being independent, never being helpless in the dark matters to you, subscribe, because that is the entire reason this channel exists. And send this to the person you know who lives where the power flickers out every storm, or who keeps a drawer full of dead flashlight batteries, because the next time the lights go out, this is the difference between their family sitting in the dark and their family sitting in the light. Now stay with me, because the story of who already built this and why you have probably never heard of it is the part that will stick with you. The Philippines is a nation of islands, and it sits directly in the path of some of the most powerful storms on the planet. When a typhoon hits, it does not just cut the power for an hour. It can take down the grid for entire regions for weeks. And in the aftermath, in the flooded dark, families are left with the only light they have always had: kerosene lamps and candles, which in a wet, wrecked, crowded shelter are a genuine danger, starting fires and poisoning the air in the very places people fled to for safety. A Filipino engineer, watching her own country go dark again and again, asked a simple question. This nation is surrounded by ocean. It is surrounded by salt water. What if the light could run on that? And she built it. A lamp that a family could power with a glass of salt water, or in a coastal village with a scoop of the sea itself. Safe. No flame, no fumes, no fuel to buy. For a family with nothing, in a village the grid had abandoned, it was light out of the one thing they had in endless supply. That is not a hypothetical. That is a real lamp that lit real homes in the dark after real disasters. The technology you are about to build has already proven itself in the hardest conditions there are. So here's the question that should be bothering you. If this exists, if it works, if it has already lit homes through disasters, why is it not everywhere? Why is it not on the shelf at every hardware store next to the flashlights? Why are we still, all of us, so completely dependent on batteries and fuel and the grid for something as basic as light? And I'm not going to hand you a villain in a boardroom, because the truth is quieter and it will stick with you longer. Nobody banned the saltwater lamp. Nobody is hiding it in a vault. The reason is just the arithmetic of how things get sold to you, and once you see it, you will see it everywhere. Every light most of us buy has one thing in common. It runs out. Batteries run out, so you buy more batteries. Kerosene runs out, so you buy more kerosene. Candles burn down, bulbs burn out, and every single one of them is a product designed, whether anyone admits it or not, around the beautiful commercial fact that you will be back to buy another. A lamp that runs on salt water and a cheap metal rod that lasts for ages is a terrible product from that point of view. There is almost nothing to sell you again. And so it was never pushed, never marketed, never put on the big shelves, never made into the default. It stayed a disaster relief project and a science fair curiosity, while the aisles stayed full of the things that run out. That is not a conspiracy. It is just the math of a world that makes money when your light dies and loses money when it does not. And that math has never once been on your side. So let's build one that is. Let me show you exactly how, because this is the part that turns you from someone who knows an amazing fact into someone who is never, ever left in the dark. Here's what makes your lamp work, and it is just a handful of things. The first and most important is your reactive metal, the anode, the piece that gives up its electrons to power the light. The best choice is magnesium, sold as a rod or a plate, and here's a place you can find it cheaply that almost nobody thinks of. Magnesium fire starter rods, sold in the camping section for a few dollars, are exactly this metal. Aluminum works too, though not quite as strongly. This metal is your fuel, and the good news is it lasts a long time and costs very little, and when it finally wears down, you simply swap in a new one. The second thing you need is the other electrode, the cathode, and for this, you want a material that lets air reach it because these cells breathe. Activated carbon, or a carbon cloth, or even a piece of copper works to complete the circuit. The third thing is your electrolyte, which is just salt water. Regular table salt dissolved in ordinary water. A few spoonfuls of salt in a cup of water is all it takes, and it is the one part of this entire machine that is truly endlessly free. The fourth thing is the light itself, an LED, because LEDs sip electricity instead of gulping it, which is exactly why they are perfect for a gentle power source like this. And here's the one clever piece you will want, a tiny cheap circuit called a boost converter, or its simplest cousin, a little circuit called a joule thief, which you can build from a coil of wire, one transistor, and a resistor for under $1. Its job is to take the low, gentle voltage your saltwater cell produces and boost it up just enough to drive the LED brightly. Without it, a single cell may only dimly flicker the light. With it, that same cell lights the room. The fifth thing is simply a container to hold it all, a jar, a bottle, a small tube, anything non-metal that holds your salt water and your electrodes. Total cost for the whole thing, depending on what you scrounge, runs from a few dollars to maybe 15. Less than a decent flashlight, and this one never needs a battery again. Here's how it goes together. Step 1, place your magnesium anode and your carbon or copper cathode into your container, close together but never touching, because if they touch, you short the cell and it does nothing. Step 2, connect a wire to each electrode, keeping the connection points up and dry above where the water will sit. Step 3, wire those 2 leads into your little boost converter or joule thief circuit and wire the output of that circuit to your LED, matching the positive and negative correctly. Step 4, and this is the moment, mix a few spoonfuls of salt into a cup of water, stir until it dissolves, and pour it in until both electrodes are submerged. Within seconds, the reaction begins, electrons start to flow, and your LED comes to life. Light in a dark room from a glass of salt water and a rod of cheap metal with no battery and no cord anywhere in sight. The first time you watch it glow, something shifts in how you understand the word power. When the water gets weak after many hours, you pour in fresh salt water and it lights again. When the metal rod finally wears down after a long, long time, you drop in a new one. That is the entire maintenance. No charging. No refueling in the way you're used to. No grid. Now I have to be as honest with you as this channel always is, because a promise without its limits is just a sales pitch, and I am not selling you anything. Let me be very clear about what this is and what it is not. This is a lamp. It is a beautiful, reliable, life-saving source of light, and with a good design, it can even trickle charge a small device like a phone, slowly. But it is a gentle power source. It will not run your refrigerator. It will not power your house or your air conditioner. It is not a replacement for a whole home battery bank. Do not let anyone, including a flashy internet claim, tell you a jar of salt water will power your home, because it will not, and I would rather tell you the truth and keep your trust. And when I say no fuel, I want to be precise, because honesty is the whole point here. The metal rod, the anode, is slowly consumed. That is the real fuel. But it is cheap. It lasts a long time, and unlike kerosene or batteries, it is not something you are constantly running out of at the worst moment. There is also a small amount of hydrogen gas produced as it runs, so use it in a ventilated space, not sealed in a tiny airtight box, and keep it away from open flames. The same common sense rule as any battery. Follow that, respect what it is, and this lamp will give you exactly what it promises. Safe, reliable, independent light from salt and water when everything else has gone dark. Because here's the truth, this whole story has been building toward. The chemistry has not changed since Volta stacked his first pile of metal and brine in 1800. Salt water still carries a current. Reactive metal still gives up its electrons. A light will still glow at the end of that flow, exactly as it did 200 years ago and exactly as it does in a flooded village lit by the sea. The only thing that was ever missing was someone telling you plainly that you do not have to be afraid of the dark, and you do not have to keep buying your way out of it. Light can come from the most abundant things on earth, and it can belong to you completely, with nothing left to purchase and no one left to depend on. You just learned how to make it. And the most powerful thing you can do with that is not keep it to yourself. Share it with the person who loses power every storm, the family in the place the grid forgot, the friend building a cabin off the edge of the map. Every time this knowledge spreads, one more household gets the one thing that fear and darkness, and every company that profits from them never wanted them to have. A light they own outright. Volta lit the first spark from salt water 2 centuries ago. An engineer half a world away turned it into a lamp that carried families through the dark. And this weekend, for a few dollars, you can build one that means the next time the power dies on your street, your light stays on. So build it, fill it, and never sit in the dark again.